We live in an age of a beautiful but dangerous lie. From the moment we are born, we are told, you can be anything you want. We are told that human potential is limitless. We are told that with enough hard work, enough positive thinking, and enough grit, a goldfish can become a shark. An oak tree can become a rose. This message is meant to be empowering, but for millions of people, it has become a source of crushing anxiety. Because if you can be anything, why are you just this? If the possibilities are infinite, then any choice you make feels like a limitation. We look at the billionaires, the superstars, the geniuses, and we think, that could be me if I just tried harder. This creates a society of chronic dissatisfaction. We are constantly measuring our reality against a fantasy of unlimited potential. But the ancients disagreed. The philosophers of Greece, the sages of India, and the psychologists of the deep unconscious, they all whispered a different truth. They taught that you cannot be anything you want. You can only be who you are. And the tragedy of modern life is that we spend our years trying to be what we are not, while ignoring the masterpiece that is hidden in our own nature. To understand this, we must revisit the Acorn Theory. This concept was popularized by the psychologist James Hillman, but it goes back to Plato. Plato tells us the myth of He says that before we are born, our soul chooses a specific life. It chooses a specific destiny. And to ensure we fulfill this destiny, we are assigned a daimon, a guiding spirit, a genius. This daimon remembers what we are supposed to do, even when we forget. Hillman argues that you are not born as a blank slate. You are born like an acorn. Inside a tiny acorn, the entire image of the giant oak tree is already encoded. The acorn cannot decide to become a willow tree. It cannot decide to become a flower. Its destiny is encoded in its very structure. If the acorn tries to be a flower, it will fail. It will be a neurotic, unhappy acorn. But if it accepts its nature, if it focuses all its energy on becoming the best oak tree possible, it becomes majestic. We are the same. We are born with a code of soul, a set of innate talents, limitations, temperaments, and inclinations. But from childhood, society tries to overwrite this code. Parents want us to be doctors. Schools want us to be obedient workers. The media wants us to be consumers. We are pushed into molds that do not fit our shape. We spend decades trying to chop off our own branches to fit into a box that is too small. We call this self-improvement, but often it is self-destruction. We are trying to fix things that are not broken, just different. We treat our introversion as a disease to be cured. We treat our sensitivity as a weakness to be hardened. We treat our obsession with art as a distraction from real work. We are fighting a war against our own daimon, and the daimon fights back. It fights back with depression, with anxiety, with a nagging sense of emptiness. That feeling that something is missing is your daemon screaming at you. It is saying, you are off the path. This is not your life. So the first step to true power is not adding more skills or ambitions. It is stopping. It is asking, what am I really? Not what I want to be, not what I should be, but what am I? What are the patterns that have followed me since childhood? What are the things I do effortlessly while others struggle? What are the things I cannot not do? We must discern between a whim and a calling. A whim is a desire implanted by society. I want to be famous. I want to be rich. A calling is a demand from the daemon. I must write. I must build. I must heal. The whim feels like excitement. The calling feels like gravity. It pulls you. In the next block, we will explore the biology of destiny. We will look at how your temperament is the hardware you cannot change, and why accepting your limitations is the only way to find your true freedom. The myth of "you can be anything" is a prison. The truth of "become who you are" is the key. Let's descend from the clouds of philosophy to the hard ground of reality. Let's talk about temperament. In ancient times, they believed in the four humors: choleric, fire; phlegmatic, water; sanguine, air; melancholic, earth. They believed your personality was mixed into your blood. Today, neuroscience tells us something similar. We are born with a specific neurochemistry. Some of us are born with a high sensitivity to dopamine. We are explorers, risk-takers, seekers of novelty. Some of us are born with a high sensitivity to threat. We are guardians, planners, cautious observers. Some of us process information quickly but superficially. Others process information slowly but deeply. This is your hardware. You cannot download a software update that changes your hardware. If you are a highly sensitive introvert, you will never be a loud, aggressive salesman. You can learn the skills. You can fake it for a while. But it will cost you. It will cost you your energy. It will cost you your health. It is like running a diesel engine on gasoline. It will eventually explode. The Stoics understood this perfectly. Epictetus said, "Remember that you are an actor in a drama of such a kind as the author pleases to make it. If short, of a short one; if long, of a long one. If it be his pleasure you should act a poor man, a cripple, a governor, or a private person, see that you act it naturally. For this is your business, to act well the character assigned you. To choose it is another's." This sounds fatalistic to modern ears. We hate the idea that we have been assigned a role. We want to write the script. But there is a profound freedom in the Stoic view. If you accept that you are a hammer, you stop trying to be a screwdriver. You stop feeling inadequate because you cannot turn screws. And you start looking for nails. You start looking for the environment where your specific nature is a superpower, not a disability. A fish is a genius in the water. It is an idiot on a tree. Most of us are fish trying to climb trees because Instagram told us that climbing is the key to success. We must learn to distinguish between fate and destiny. Fate is the cards you are dealt, your genetics, your parents, the time and place of your birth, your trauma. You cannot change fate. It is the raw material. Destiny is what you do with the cards. Destiny is the negotiation between your will and your fate. You cannot change the fact that you are short or introverted or bad at math. But you can choose to be the greatest short, introverted, non-mathematical artist the world has ever seen. The tragedy of the modern world is that we waste our energy fighting our fate. We spend billions on plastic surgery, on personality hacks, on trying to fix our flaws. But often, our flaws are just the shadow side of our gifts. The obsession that makes you difficult to live with is the same obsession that allows you to master a craft. The sensitivity that makes you cry easily is the same sensitivity that allows you to create moving art. If you cure the flaw, you might kill the genius. Carl Jung said, "The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases." The process of individuation, of becoming who you really are, requires a brutal honesty. You have to look in the mirror and admit, I am not Einstein. I am not Elon Musk. I am not Beyoncé. And that is okay, because I am me. and me has a specific purpose that none of them can fulfill. When you stop trying to be anything, you gain the energy to be something. You gain focus. You stop scattering your energy in 1,000 directions, trying to please everyone. You concentrate your power on the one thing that lights you up. This brings us to the concept of the shadow. The shadow contains all the parts of yourself that you rejected because they didn't fit the social script. Maybe as a child you were aggressive, but your parents told you, nice boys don't fight. So you repressed your aggression. You became a nice guy, but the aggression didn't disappear. It went into the shadow. It became passive aggressiveness. It became resentment. To become who you want to be, you must reclaim who you were. You must reintegrate the shadow. You must find a healthy outlet for that aggression, perhaps in business or sports or debate. You must accept the full spectrum of your nature, the light and the dark. Only a whole person can fulfill their destiny. A fragmented person is too busy fighting a civil war inside their own head. So the question changes. It is no longer, can I be what I want to be? The question becomes, do I have the courage to be what I am? Do I have the courage to disappoint my parents, my peers, and my society? To be loyal to my own soul? In the final block, we will explore the mechanism of this transformation. We will look at Michelangelo's method of sculpting, and we will discover the ultimate philosophical tool, Amor Fati, the love of one's fate. How do we practically apply this? If we cannot add anything to our nature, how do we grow? We must look at the metaphor of the sculptor. When Michelangelo looked at a block of marble, he did not see a stone that needed to be added to. He saw the angel inside the stone. He said, I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free. The process of becoming yourself is not a process of addition. It is a process of subtraction. You do not need to build a personality. You need to chip away the false personality. You need to chip away the expectations of your family. Chip away the conditioning of your school. Chip away the fears implanted by the media. Chip away the desire for validation. As you remove what is not you, what is, you begins to emerge. It was there all along. It was just buried under the debris of trying to be someone else. This is why the midlife crisis is such a common phenomenon. We spend the first half of our lives building a persona, a mask to wear in society. We build a career, a reputation, a lifestyle. And then, around age 40 or 50, the mask starts to crack. We realize, I built a ladder and climbed to the top, but it was leaning against the wrong wall. The crisis is actually a correction. It is the daemon breaking through the walls of the ego. It is painful. It involves loss. It involves confusion. But it is necessary. It is the marble being chipped away. And this brings us to the ultimate state of freedom, Amor Fati. This is a Latin phrase used by Nietzsche. It means love of fate. It is not just accepting your life. It is not just tolerating it. It is loving it. It is saying yes to everything that made you who you are. The trauma, the failures, the limitations, the weirdness. Because if you remove one piece of your past, you destroy the person you are today. Nietzsche wrote, "My formula for greatness in a human being is Amor Fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity. When you love your fate, you stop fighting reality. You stop wishing you were taller, smarter, or born in a different century. You look at the raw material of your life and you say, This is what I have, and this is enough to build a masterpiece. This is the ultimate alchemy, turning the lead of your limitations into the gold of your destiny. So, to answer the question, can we be what we want to be? The answer is no. You cannot be a bird if you are a fish. But the question is wrong. The desire to be anything is a desire to escape. It is a rejection of the self. The true goal is not to be anything. The true goal is to be yourself, to become the highest, strongest, most vivid version of the pattern that was encoded in your acorn. This is what the Hindus call dharma. It is your duty, your cosmic function. It is better to do your own dharma poorly than to do someone else's dharma perfectly. It is better to be a clumsy original than a perfect copy. Look at your life. Stop looking at the horizon of what you could be. Look at the ground of what you are. What are the threads of interest that have always been there? What is the pain you are uniquely equipped to heal? What is the work that feels like play to you? That is the signal. Follow it. Do not try to force the river. Be the river. The world does not need another copy of a billionaire. The world does not need another fake celebrity. The world needs you, the real you. The you that has been hiding under the weight of potential. Put down the weight. Pick up the chisel and start carving. Set the angel free.